Have you ever felt that deep, quiet stirring in the middle of winter? That feeling that even though it's still cold and dark, something new is about to begin? Well, you're not alone. For centuries, people in the Scottish Highlands have felt that same pull, a magic woven into the very fabric of the land. Today, we're journeying into the heart of this ancient tradition, exploring the story of Imbolc, the goddess bride, a mystical white serpent, and the sacred wells that bubble with life. Our story begins with Imbolc, one of the 4 great fire festivals of the Celtic year, celebrated around the 1st or 2nd of February. The name itself is believed to mean in the belly, a powerful image that speaks of the earth pregnant with the coming spring. Imagine the landscape. The mountains are still capped with snow, the lochs are icy mirrors, but underneath it all, the life force of the land is starting to awaken. The days are getting just a little bit longer. The youths are preparing to give birth to the first lambs of the year, and a subtle shift can be felt in the air. This isn't a loud, dramatic change. It's a quiet promise, a gentle unfurling. Imbolc is the festival of this first light, a celebration of hope, purity, and new beginnings. It's a time to clean out the old, both physically and spiritually, and make space for the new growth to come. At the very heart of Imbolc is a powerful figure, a goddess known as bride or brigd. She's a goddess of many talents, a true triple threat. She's the patroness of poets, smiths, and healers. Think about that combination for a moment. She inspires the creative fire of the bard, the transformative fire of the blacksmith's forge, and the healing warmth that mends the body and spirit. She is the spark of inspiration, the strength of creation, and the gentle hand of compassion, all rolled into one. In the old dailies, bride was said to walk the earth on the eve of Imbolc, blessing the homes and the land as she passed. Families would leave out a bit of food and drink for her, and a bed, the labade brood, would be made for her by the hearth, a symbol of welcome and hospitality. They'd smooth the ashes in the fireplace before going to bed, and in the morning, they would eagerly check for any mark or sign that the goddess had visited them during the night, bringing her blessings of fertility and prosperity for the year ahead. Now, how does this ancient goddess connect to a Christian saint? This is where the story gets really fascinating. As Christianity spread across the Celtic lands, the beloved figure of the goddess bride wasn't erased. She was transformed. She became Saint Bridget of Kildare, one of Ireland's patron saints, and her stories and traditions seamlessly merged with the old ways. Saint Bridget was known for her incredible generosity, her miracles of healing, and her deep connection to nature. The date of her feast day, February 1st, the same day as Imbolc. It's a beautiful example of how ancient beliefs can live on, woven into the fabric of a new faith. The making of brigade's crosses from rushes, a tradition still practiced today, is a perfect symbol of this blend. The cross is a Christian symbol, but the act of weaving it connects back to the harvest, the earth, and the cycles of nature that the goddess bride presided over. But what about the serpent? In the folklore of the Scottish Highlands, bride has a very special and surprising companion, the White Serpent. Now, when we think of serpents, we might think of something dangerous. But in Celtic mythology, the serpent is a powerful symbol of rebirth transformation and the earth's healing energies. It sheds its skin and is born anew, just as the land is reborn in spring. The story goes that on the day of Imbolc, the queen of winter, the Cailleach, is at her weakest, and Bride, the young queen of summer, emerges to take her place. And with her comes the White Serpent. It's said that on this day, the serpent uncoils from its winter slumber deep within the hollows of the hills and comes out to test the weather. If the day is bright and sunny, the serpent sees its shadow and retreats back into its hole for another 6 weeks of winter. A story that sounds remarkably like the American tradition of Groundhog Day, doesn't it? It shows how these ancient ideas about nature's cycles have traveled and transformed across cultures. The serpent is Bride's oracle, her connection to the deep, thanic powers of the earth. This brings us to our final and perhaps most magical element: the holy wells. All across Scotland, you can find them hidden away in quiet glens or nestled by ancient churchyards. These aren't just ordinary springs, they are places where the veil between worlds feels thin, places of immense spiritual power. Many of these wells are dedicated to Saint Bride, known in Gaelic as Tober Brid. For centuries, people have made pilgrimages to these sacred sites, especially around Imbolc. They would come seeking healing for themselves or their livestock. The ritual was often very specific. You might be required to walk around the well a certain number of times, always sunwise, following the path of the sun. You would then drink the water or use it to wash an afflicted part of your body. And as a final act of gratitude and hope, you would leave an offering, a practice known as clúti tying. People would tie a small piece of cloth, a clute, to a nearby tree. The idea was that as the cloth weathered and disintegrated over time, so too would the illness or trouble it represented fade away. If you ever visit a clúti well today, you'll see the trees adorned with these colorful rags, a living testament to generations of hope, prayer, and belief in the healing power of the water and the spirit of Bride. These wells were seen as direct portals to the life-giving energy of the earth, the very essence of Bride herself. The water that bubbles up from deep within the ground is a physical manifestation of her healing and regenerative power. It's the water of life, the source of all new beginnings. Just like the melting snows and the first spring rains that awakened the land after its long winter sleep. So, when people visited these wells, they weren't just performing a ritual. They were directly connecting with the goddess, with the spirit of the place, and with the fundamental cycle of life, death, and rebirth. So, what can we take away from this ancient and beautiful story today? The tale of Imbolc, Bride, the White Serpent, and the Holy Wells is more than just folklore. It's a powerful reminder to pay attention to the quiet shifts in the world around us and within us. It teaches us the importance of hope, even in the darkest and coldest of times. It reminds us that new beginnings are always possible, that the spark of creativity and healing lies within us, just waiting to be kindled. It is a call to clear out what no longer serves us and to make space for new growth. Maybe you can celebrate by lighting a candle, doing a deep clean of your home, or simply taking a quiet walk in nature and looking for the very first signs of spring. The spirit of Bride is the spirit of potential, the promise that after every winter, spring will always return. It's a story of resilience, transformation, and the enduring magic of the natural world. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the heart of the Scottish Highlands. If you enjoyed this exploration of Celtic tradition, please give this video a like and consider subscribing for more stories from the crossroads of history and myth. Let me know in the comments if you have any traditions for welcoming the spring. Until next time, stay curious. While the White Serpent and the Holy Wells represent the awakening of the wild landscape, the magic of St. Bride's Day was not confined to the hills and glens. It was also deeply woven into the domestic life of the people, specifically around the hearth fire. In the Highland tradition, the home was a sanctuary against the winter night, and St. Bride was its guardian. The most poignant of these domestic rituals was the making of the liba brood, or the bed of bride. On the eve of the festival, the women of the house would fashion a figure of the saint from the last sheaf of corn kept from the autumn harvest. This is a profound piece of symbolism. The dried remains of the harvest represented the Cailleach or the Rei, ritually transformed into the fresh, youthful figure of bride. It was a physical enactment of death becoming life. This figure, often decorated with shells, sparkling stones, and early spring flowers, was laid in a basket filled with hay. A wooden wand, often made of birch or willow, was placed beside her. The family would then gather at the door and call out into the dark, "Thiga beagaeche, di. Come in, bride." It was believed that during the night, the saint would enter the home and rest in the bed prepared for her. In the morning, the ashes of the hearth were examined closely for a mark of footprint, or the trace of her wandwits was seen as a sign of prosperity and protection for the coming year. This connection to the fire was central to the festival. In a time before electricity, the hearth fire was the heart of survival. It cooked the food, dried the clothes, and kept the freezing winter at bay. On St. Bride's Day, the ritual of smoring the fire took on special significance. This involved covering the glowing embers with peat ash to keep them smoldering quietly through the night without burning out. It was a delicate art, ensuring that the fire, like the life of the land, slept safely through the darkness to be easily reawakened at dawn. The prayers spoken during this smoothing of the fire called upon bride to shield the house from harm. She was the keeper of the flame, the one who ensured that the spark of life did not vanish in the cold. In a metaphorical sense, this is the true message of Imbolc. It teaches us the importance of tending to our own inner light when the world around us is dark. Today, while we may no longer look for serpents in the hills or make beds of straw, the essence of St. Bride's Day remains relevant. It is a reminder to honor the turning of the seasons, to protect the hearths of our own lives, and to trust that even in the deepest winter, the spring is already on its way. The White Serpent has stirred, the water flows clear, and the fire is lit. The year has turned. As the sun sets on St. Bride's Day, the landscape of the Highlands feels subtly changed. The snow may still lie heavy on the peaks, and the wind may still carry the bite of frost, but the psychological grip of winter has been broken. The rituals of the day, the watching for the White Serpent, the washing in the Holy Well, the tending of the hearth were not just superstitions, they were profound acts of participation in the natural world. They were a way for our ancestors to align themselves with the rhythm of the earth, acknowledging that light and dark, death, and rebirth are forever intertwined. In our modern world, where we are often disconnected from the seasons by electric lights and central heating, the wisdom of Imbolc offers a necessary grounding. It asks us to pay attention. It asks us to notice the small, quiet miracles. The first green shoot, the lengthening twilight, the return of birdsong. It reminds us that patience is a virtue and that the most important growth often happens underground, unseen, long before it breaks the surface. The legend of the White Serpent is ultimately a story of hope. It tells us that the life force is indestructible. No matter how deep the freeze, the serpent eventually, the water eventually flows. The goddess eventually returns. As we move forward into the spring, we carry the blessing of Saint Bride with us. The fire has been smoothed, the house has been protected, and the seed has been woken. The long wait is over. The earth is alive. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your night. May you find deep peace and restful sleep. Wishing you the sweetest dreams. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.